Transition Radio TV, brought to you by thebreastformstore.com. They have everything you could possibly need for your cross-dressing and transgender needs. Visit their website at www.thebreastformstore.com and tell them Transition Radio sent you.
The following ingredients include a look behind the scenes. Cook uncovered until hot. Add grooves to taste.
I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl.
The accident was over a year ago. A second woman has been elected president. A 12th planet has been named in the solar system. The last wild polar bear has died. I slept through it all. I was here for my waking. He called it a beginning. He said it was good. I think he may have thought that anything I did was good.
Welcome to Transition Radio, live from Hilton Manors, Florida. With your host, Mark and Jessica Cummings.
And your hostess, Jessica Cummings.
A show for trans folks, by trans folks, here to let your voice be heard.
It's the love that saves me. Yes, well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Transition Radio TV show on a new night, although we're running a little bit late, technical difficulties.
On a new night?
New
You
time.
mean at a new
New
time?
time. Yeah, see, it's all the technical difficulties driving me crazy. There must be a full moon or something going on our planet.
It
Government
sounds
shut
like-
down. Everything's shutting down.
It sounds like Mark has technical difficulties, actually.
Yeah, probably so, Joe. Yeah, it's a little contagious, Joe. You know how it goes. Anyway, we're glad you're able to join us. We want to thank the chatters that have been patiently waiting in the chat room, and thank you. But tonight we have a special treat for you guys. We've got Cristopher August. He's a 28-year-old man of trans experience. This is his 5th year into his transition. He's a singer and songwriter, and it goes without saying that his greatest passion is music. He has released a variety of original tracks and performed at a number of festival clubs and other LGBT events.
He quotes, "Growing up, I've always been fascinated with the unknown and anything paranormal. For the past several years, I have co-run and operated Orange County Ghosts and Legends Paranormal. We research all things paranormal and run public ghost tours, investigations in Orange County, California, and abroad."
If you want a lover, I'll do anything you ask me to. And if you want another kind of love, I'll wear a mask for you. And if you want a partner, take my hand. If you want to strike me down in anger, here I stand. I'm your man. If you want a boxer, I step into the ring for you. And if you want a doctor, I'll examine every inch of you. And if you want a driver, climb inside. If you want to take me for a ride, you know you can. 'Cause I'm your man. All the moon's too bright, the chain's too tight, the bees won't go to sleep. I've been running through these promises to you that I made couldn't feet. I howl at your beauty like a dog in heat. And I call at your heart, and I tear at your sheets. I say please, 'cause I'm your man. And if you wanna walk the streets alone, I'll disappear for you. And if you want a father for your child, if you want to walk with me a while across the sand, well, I'm your man. All the moon's too bright, the chain's too tight, the bees won't go to sleep. I've been running through these promises to you that I made and could not keep. Oh, but I never got a woman back, not by begging on his knees. I call at you, baby, and I fall at your feet. I howl at your beauty like a dog in heat. And I call at your heart, and I tear at your sheets. I say please, 'cause I'm your man. I'm your man.
And now welcome to our show, the talented Cristopher August. Hey Chris, how's it going?
Mark, Jessica, how are you?
Good.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I've been looking forward. I've been watching some of your videos and some really interesting stuff on your paranormal stuff. I'm really looking forward to that and sharing that with our guests.
Likewise.
So tell me, Chris, what was the most memorable day of your life and why?
Boy, it's I've had a few good days. That's for sure. I don't know if you get this a lot. I would imagine you do. I think the day that is probably most vivid in my memory is the day that I first started hormone replacement therapy, and I remember that day like it was 5 minutes ago. I remember where I was. I remember everything I was thinking in that moment. I remember the ride over. I remember the ride home. I remember it's crazy that, yeah, it was 5 years ago, but well, 5.5 years ago, but obviously it goes without saying that it was probably the biggest life-changing event in my life. Had I imagined where I would be 5 years from then, which would be today, I wouldn't be able to tell you, the things that I do to keep myself busy, and just where I'm at as a human being and as an individual. I wouldn't be able to tell you. But that day was, it was both scary and liberating, but it wasn't, the fear wasn't what I regretted. It was the fear of the unknown and the fear of what lies ahead for my life. But it was, it was a huge day, and I can imagine you guys probably get that a lot, considering the people that you guys talk to a lot. Is that the case, or?
I mean, we do. There's different events for every individual, but yes, hormones, surgery days. For me, it was the day I had my chest, her top surgery, and then I had my hysterectomy at the same time. I thought either I'll die or I'll come out a man, and obviously I'm still here, so I didn't die.
But I would second that,
yeah.
For sure. I remember the first time I took hormones, and I jumped into that pool, and I was like, yeah, okay. It's like a week later, I'm like, ooh, I feel like I'm changing. I'm looking, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm getting boobs. Cool.
Yeah, well, 1 week now.
1 week, I'm like, ow, my boobs are sore. And everybody's like, shut the hell up.
It doesn't work that quickly. But it's,
you're
it's
nitpicking
putting the right
everything
serum in our bloodstream. Go ahead.
No, you're picking yourself apart and looking for every little difference in yourself. Yeah, I recall.
Yeah. It's like, ooh, new hair growth.
A whisker.
It's like, if I had a dime for every YouTube video that I see, people's like, I've got 5 hairs now.
And then you got like, 4 of those videos yourself.
No, I don't. I never did any. It's a thing. I didn't make any transformation videos because this happened back in 2003. Now it's like the fad. Everyone's got, their transition video, but it's all here. And it's all here. So
exactly. And I think, I do regret that I didn't really not so much publicly document. I'm very private, and I'm not personally comfortable with that. But I think even just for myself, I'm kind of regretful that I didn't, take photographs and document that as I went along. But like you said, it isn't here, and I lived it and I experienced it, and I can go with that. So that's good.
That's good. Definitely.
Absolutely. So let me ask Chris, who has been the most supportive person in your transition?
I've been very fortunate, and I know not everybody can say the same thing. I've been lucky to have wonderfully supportive friends in my life, longtime friends, people who've been through it with me every step of the way. I would say virtually every person in my life has been very supportive. I can say that I haven't really encountered anything negative as far as the people in my life that I surround myself with. I've been very lucky. I know that's not something everyone can say, and I am very well aware that I am fortunate for that. But yes, absolutely. My friends, my family has most definitely come along and has been very supportive. I am surrounded by love, and I think that's made all the difference in being able to move forward in my life in a positive way and pursue a life for myself and know that I am surrounded by people who love and support me. But it's really never been a deal breaker in the relationships with the relationships I've had in my life. It's never really been a main topic of discussion. It just has been what it is, and people have respected that, and I've always been the same person regardless. So I've been very lucky, and I am very grateful for that every day of my life.
That's awesome.
And like you said, not everyone is that lucky. I mean, a lot of individuals get a lot of slack from their family members and friends, and some of them never actually get them on board, and that's really sad. I think the norm is the beginning of it. People are uncomfortable, they might push you away, but then with time, and they see the happiness we're demonstrating, they start accepting us. But there's always one person more than another. My dad was more accepting than my mom, and I thought it'd be the other way around, but was there equal parents both accepting with you, or was there one more than the other? Or
I think very similar to you. I think how I envisioned it in my head, obviously I made it out, I prepared for the absolute worst, just so that I wouldn't set myself up for disappointment. I prepared myself for the worst of the worst, disownment, you name it. I envisioned certain people to take it better than others, and some family members surprised me. It goes without saying that it was definitely a struggle for my family, and it wasn't a cakewalk. But my dad has been wonderful. My mom has been a lot better. My mom has been great. I know they love me. I have 2 sisters who have been very supportive and wonderful. It's been a growing process, and it wasn't easy right off the bat, but every day it is better. And I think how I approached it not only with just my family, but with my job, my friends, that, you know, the less of an issue I make it, the less of an issue it is for them, that they see that I'm just living my life, that it's really not this earth-shattering thing that's going to ruin everything. I think they were able to settle down about it, and particularly your family, your parents, you know, they have fears for you that, you know, are people going to harm you? Are you going to have a horrible life of, people being cruel to me or whatnot? But that, you know, as they've seen that I'm a civilized citizen, and I go to work, and I'm a productive member of society, I have wonderful friends, I have relationships just like anybody else. It hasn't been the end of the world, and as they've seen that through the past 5 years since the physical transition, everybody's settled down about it, and that's been a relief. So the worst is over, and I think it's just going to be downhill from here, and I'm lucky. So
Awesome. And I think that as far as people being cruel to us and stuff like that, it does happen, but I think that each individual, that before they decide to transition, should be sure that they have the thick skin to be able to do it, because you're going to walk through a phase where you're in between. You may not be all this or all that, but you're going to be in the middle, and people are going to pick up on it. And when they do, you need to have tough, thick skin, because, you know, if you don't, they're going to eat you alive, and you're not going to make it.
It's all about attitude. It's all how you present yourself. If you're sure about yourself and you walk with your head high, everybody else will respect you too. Exactly. And that's key. That's definitely key. So.
Exactly. And I, you know, by any means, I didn't want to minimize, you know, what other people experience. There's a lot of cruelty out there, and I am disgusted with the things that, you know, I hear about, and like I said, I've been very fortunate that I haven't had to face that in society. But it's tragic to hear the things that a lot of, you know, our trans brothers and sisters have to deal with, and it's heartbreaking, and it's a shame. But I've just tried to approach my life by you know, people I surround myself with, that, you know, it's okay, I'll be fine, and I'm still me, I'm the same person, and everybody's been able to relax, and that's been a positive thing.
Absolutely.
Well, what's the fascination with the paranormal? And explain to us what's ghosts and legends.
Okay. Well, I co-run a company, a business, and a paranormal team. We were called Orange County Ghosts and Legends Paranormal. I've been forever fascinated since I was a kid with anything to do with the unknown, whether it's ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot, Nessie, Loch Ness Monster, Madwee, the fact that I even called her Nessie. Anything weird that we can't explain. I think for me, the fascination comes from that I've always been scared of it. I don't understand it. So I tend to really be a magnet towards things I can't make sense of. And you know, growing up, I was terrified of anything to do with aliens. I remember being scared to death of the movie Fire in the Sky in the 90s. That gave me nightmares because of the fear. I used to think that aliens would show up outside my window and I'd be abducted. I'm terrified of it, but because I'm so scared of it.
You know, it's funny though, because I've always had fascinations with aliens, but I'm not scared. To me, it's like I feel that we're star people, and there's different star systems, and we're each from a different galaxy or whatever that are placed here on Earth as some sort of experiment. And I've always been, from the time I was little, looking up in the sky, almost like waiting for my star family to come pick me up and take me away from this madness that we live in. And it's the same with ghosts. I used to sit there and try to move objects as a kid. My father would crack up at me because I'm like, I'm going to move this thing if it's the last thing I do. I was into ESP and all this crazy stuff, which I love. So
Right. Right.
I've done the same thing, trying to move things with my mind. It's like, it's insane. And I did play with a Ouija board once. And let me tell you, that freaked me out. Because it was just me and my girlfriend at the time. And we were playing with this Ouija board. And I swear to God, I wasn't moving it. And she swore she wasn't moving it, so we took our hands off of it. And it slowly started moving by itself. And I'm like, okay, time to put that away.
Move by itself.
Yes. I don't know. Maybe I smoked too much weed at that point. I don't know.
No, seriously, it does. I believe in all that. People try not to believe in it, but there's more to life than meets the eye. And
oh my God.
Definitely, I believe in spirits. I believe in ghosts. I believe in poltergeist. I believe in aliens. I don't believe in Santa Claus.
I never did until that Ouija board. And then I started believing in spirits and ghosts.
Thanks for ruining Christmas, Mark.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wait a minute.
You know, I consider myself an open-minded skeptic. I don't believe or disbelieve. I probably lean more towards being a believer. If I wasn't, I probably wouldn't be doing what I do. But I want to believe. But I really try hard not to try too hard to see something or experience something that I'm tricking myself into seeing something that isn't really there. So I approach everything with an open mind, but I try to logically have an explanation for everything. I don't ever want to jump to conclusions. You know, I didn't really have anything that have ever happened to me as a kid, which is interesting because you think maybe I would. But I didn't have anything happen to me, and it wasn't maybe until I was somewhere around 2021, I had a series of 3 events that happened back to back within the course of 3 to 6 months, seeing a potential full body apparition, having something talking in my ear. No drugs were involved.
No LSD, right? No.
I was coherent, and it was a string of bizarre events that just happened back to back. And I believe everything happens for a reason, and I think I'm doing the things that I'm doing for a reason. My business partner that I work with, I had a buddy come out and visit, and we were trying to think of something to do. And around here in Orange County, there isn't exactly your cream of the crop of things to do. So he was coming out to visit, and we were all thinking, you know, what can we do that would be really fun? We're all interested in ghosts and anything spooky. So we decided to do a Google search of scary or spooky things to do in Orange County, and we came across this guy who was running local tours just as a hobby. And anyway, long story short, we went and took one of his tours at Black Star Canyon here in Orange County, and I instantly connected with him. It was something that I was so fascinated with, and we had a connection right off the bat, and he surely appreciated that I was, you know, having a good time, but I was seriously curious, and I was asking questions, and he appreciated that. So we clicked, we connected, and you know, I started to volunteer and help him out with his tours and learn the tools of the trade and participate in investigations with him. He's been doing it for a very, very long time. And I respect his opinions, but we do clash. We have a difference in opinions. He sees things all the time, and I get irritated at him, and I just want to smack him because he's saying there's something right there, and I just saw that, and I saw this. I said, I don't see anything that you're looking at. And I said, who's here? Is it you or is it you? Because I don't see anything. But I think we balance each other out because he's a firm believer. He sees stuff all the time, and I've only maybe potentially seen something 2 or 3 times as long as I've been doing it, and even then I'm questioning it. But like you, Mark, I do believe there's more to us. There's more to life and life on Earth. I think it's naive to think that we're alone. There was a quote that I heard that I really appreciated, and I don't want to butcher it, and it's probably not going to sound as good as it's meant to. The quote was, what is scarier, whether we are alone or whether we are not alone? Which is scarier? And I don't know the answer to that. I'd like to think there's more. There's more out there. I think I'm a believer of aliens. But it's fun. It's fun for me, and I'm scared of ghosts. I'll be honest with you. I'm scared of them.
So am I. I'm afraid of the dark.
I'm not. I've seen several things, and at first, when I was younger, I was scared, but as an adult, I realized the power that we have. We are spirits having a human experience, and if we connect to our spirit side, the amount of power that we have is amazing. So there's nothing that could really harm you, only if you allow it. And that's
Right.
I'm a strong believer in that.
Well,
Right.
And you said to say if we saw something behind you. I don't know. There's something towards your left shoulder there, kind of moving around a bit. So
looks like the
I don't
light's
know
coming
if
through the
blinds.
Probably the sun going down.
Oh, okay.
Either that or it's a waffle French fry.
Yeah, it's a waffle ghost. Waffle ghost making his well self known.
Right.
Actually, the funny thing though, I don't know if anybody's experienced this, but like when I was younger, and I would go to sleep, I would wake up in the morning, I would go to bed, I would have socks on my feet and covers over top of me, and in my grandmother's house, it's like almost on a reoccurring basis, the covers would be on the floor off the foot of the bed, and my socks would be off my feet.
Definitely a little playful poltergeist.
I guess. Very unexplainable, but it's like, okay. But it's just, it
I've
was
seen
crazy.
it.
I could not understand how that happened, how they ended up on the foot of the bed on the floor. The covers.
I lived in a house that was, oh my God, it had so many. I mean, you'd be watching TV and you would see things running like that, and you look again, and you'd be in the mirror, like looking at your, like grooming yourself, and all of a sudden you see something and you look behind, and crazy stuff like that. So I'm a true believer. And anyway, we want to share this video clip with you in the Grand Canyon Cavern. So a little ooh stuff for the viewers to see. It's a pretty nice clip.
Down here, they found a couple Indians down here, and then also we found out that a couple of the workers actually died while they were working down here. So we're going to try and make some contact with them tonight, and hopefully see some of that tonight. So anyways, stay tuned. Matt and Chris, Grand Canyon Caverns. It is now a little after 2, and we're going to be investigating the caverns. As you can see, unless I have my headlight on, it's pretty dark down here without any lights on. I'm going to kind of venture back here. That's Chris there. And then as we go around the corner here, this is our little shack for the night, our little hold up. Those are the only lights that are going to be on all night long. Is there anybody here who would like to communicate with us? Can you turn on your light for a minute?
That's interesting.
Yeah, those,
so it goes without saying, have you seen a lot of stuff in the caverns? Is that what mostly you guys go into, or?
You know, the Grand Canyon Caverns is fairly untapped territory in the paranormal field. We're really trying to bring some attention to it. I mean, I can sit here all day and tell you how cool it is till I'm blue in the face, but it's really something one has to experience for themselves. Those audio clips, normally you have to, put some earphones on to really hear it completely, but particularly the one in the restaurant where it sounds like a person running. Man, I remember reviewing the video for that, and I caught that one, and we have to review hours upon hours of audio and video footage when we do our investigations. And it's one of those where I was just nodding off, and I was trying to stay awake, and I'm watching the screen, but I'm not watching the screen. And as my partner and I and the other investigator we had at the time, we were talking in the background. We didn't hear that at the time. That was loud. That was a person running. And when I'm listening to it, obviously it was so loud that I jumped up and I'm thinking, what the hell was that? And I remember rewinding that over and over and over. Then I got up and I paced because I'm thinking, holy cow, we didn't hear that. I know we didn't hear that because nobody even acknowledged it. And that was so loud, almost like a child running on wood floor or something. And we believe that it's very much it's not so much an intelligent haunt. It's what we call residual energy, where it's an event in time that is just happening over and over again. We feel a lot of the Grand Canyon Cavern property is very much residual activity versus intelligent hauntings. We're still researching it. It is really one of the coolest places, and I can sit here and tell you all kinds of stories we've had over there. But those video clips are some of the coolest experiences we've had, and it's kind of hard to capture stuff. But man, that place is really fascinating. It's historical, but it's really a must-see for people. It's awesome. I love it.
I would love to.
I saw some orbs, which is also something that you capture when you take pictures and things, and it's energy source, because that's what spirits or ghosts are. And like you said, sometimes you have parallel universes running and events that take place, and just almost like a recording keeps going over and over again. And it's very detailed, and it's mind-blowing, and it's probably not easy to explain, but the words don't do us justice as a species. I mean, we try to label things, but our minds is this small and has not even been tapped into. Our universe is so wide, and there's tons and tons of universes and tons of things. So we've only been taught this is this way and this is that way, and we haven't even scratched the surface of reality.
Absolutely. And I think the longer I do this, the more in tune I am with my abilities. I don't consider myself really that sensitive, but sometimes I really surprise myself with how intuitive I really am, or I'm able to really have a sense about something that I surprise myself. There's some times where I am just drawn to something and I just go with it. And if I'm pulled, I am learning to go with it. If there is something in my mind telling me you need to walk over there, I don't ignore that anymore. I do it. I'm starting to be open to my own sensitivity and try not to doubt myself so much, because I want to have an explanation for everything. And I'm trying to kind of mellow out on that and just allow myself to have an experience and not immediately try to explain it away. So
it's that inner voice. We tend to shut it off and not listen to it, but we have a higher self in other dimensions guiding us, and it's almost like sometimes you hear the whisper in your ear, sometimes you just get this real prominent feeling about something, and you can't ignore it. You have to listen to it. I mean, that's something I've learned.
No, that little whisper is the voices you're not supposed to listen to.
No.
So we're going to switch gears here from the paranormal. What's that?
Those are different voices.
Yeah, those are different voices. But we're going to switch gears here, and we're going to move on to about you being a very talented musician. And have you always had this talent? And how did your style and voice change after you transitioned?
I've loved to sing for as long as I can remember. I remember 6 or 7 years old. I listened to a lot of oldies. I was a '90s kid, so I was heavy into the pop music of the '90s, Boyz II Men, and any of the successful pop groups at the time. I listened to a lot of oldies radio. My most prominent memory is being in the back seat of the car. I was probably 7 or 8 years old, and listening to oldies radio. It was an LA station, and a song came on, and something connected with me that I was just wide-eyed with wonder in that moment. I'm thinking, who is this? And I will never forget it. And I remember asking, I think it was my stepmother at the time, who is that? And she wasn't quite sure. It was not a typical hit for this individual, but I later found out it was an Elvis Presley song, and it was called "That's All Right." It was his first single that he ever released, and it was his rockabilly days. And that song was, I think, the beginning of a turn in my life where I was so fascinated, and I remember I needed to find that song, and it was a mission that I had to find that. This was before iTunes. This was before you can digitally download anything you want or type it into Google and you have it right at your convenience. I actually had to try to find it and press record on a cassette tape and listen for it on that oldie station. And I would wait around for hours and wait for that to come on. But then I would lock myself in my room and blast music and put on elaborate shows for myself and concerts. And I am self-taught. I didn't take music lessons, vocal lessons. I basically taught myself by mimicking my favorite singers at the time. I would try to sing just like them. And so I was shy. I didn't perform in front of people. I never wanted to open my mouth. I was in choir in middle school, and I hid in the back. I hid in the back. Not to mention, I don't need to tell you that it was middle school, so enough said. So that was an awkward time. But I was very shy about it, and I was probably really shy about singing in music until my early adult years, probably till I was about 20, 21, and 28 now. So I didn't really get up in front of people and sing. I didn't really have the confidence to do so.
So did you find that your voice changed a lot? I know that I'm also a musician, and I used to have a lovely soprano voice. And one day I went to sing, and it was like, it was like, oh my God. So I couldn't sing for a while, but I taught myself to sing again, and I developed a new voice, the raspiness, whatever, male voice that I have now. Did you find that your voice changed a lot, or you one of the lucky ones? Or?
Embarking on the, embarking on HRT, that was obviously my biggest fear, was how my voice would change. How would I cope with it? How would I deal with it? And the unknown with how much it would change and how drastic it would be. Would I lose my vibrato? Would I not even be able to hold the note? There was really no research on it, and I had inquired with doctors and asking about it, and nobody had an answer. Well, it's a gamble, and yeah, it is a gamble. You just don't know. But it seems that it obviously doesn't ruin your voice. You just have to retrain yourself and adjust to the change. And I like it. I think it goes without saying that I can still sing a lot of the songs I used to do before, but and I stick to the same genre, but you know, it's just my voice is thicker, obviously. There's a lot more substance to it. I've always had a I don't know the word I'm looking for. I didn't really have a high-pitched voice, so to speak. I had a very good falsetto, and I think I still have a decent falsetto, and I embrace it. I love it. It's kind of my signature. But I've adjusted, and I think anybody can adjust to it. But it's like it's like a muscle. You know, your muscle memory, and you have to keep practicing. And I just worked through it, and it wasn't it wasn't the big drastic change that I thought it would be, which is good, because it's not like I'm starting over. I've just kind of moved with it. So it's been a smooth change and transition. So I've been lucky with that.
That's good.
That's awesome. Well, speaking of, here is a video clip of one of your originals on YouTube.
You've got something to find. Well, that's alright, do it on your time. You left me behind, drowning in your rain. Was it all just a lie? You came and went beside in your curtain is down. It's time to take your bow. You're no longer on my mind. I've heard it before. Said you wouldn't let me down. I'm weary from this war. Out of sight, out of mind. Whatever works to get you through the night. Oh, I'll be alright. You're not worth the fight.
Very nice.
Yes. You definitely have an awesome voice.
Yes, definitely. And you write your own material, and do you do the music arrangement as well? Or?
I've worked with a couple different producers, and I'm not a producer, but I'm learning the ropes, and I'm familiarizing myself with the process. But I do a lot of the lyrical content. I help with the arrangements, but I can't take all the credit because I do work with some very talented people. So it's a joint team project.
That's good.
It's awesome.
Very good. So tell me, who has been your inspiration, and who do you owe your style to?
Like I said before, Elvis was the beginning. I have a lot of musical inspirations, but he kind of he kicked everything off for me and made me obsessed with anything music. I'm big on any of the vocal harmony groups. Also Michael Bublé, Josh Groban. I like classic rock. I am very much a pop singer. I'm not a rock artist. I don't have a rock voice. I'm a sucker for ballads, but absolutely Elvis Presley is my #1 inspiration, no doubt about it.
He's the king, definitely.
Yes. And he was awesome too.
Yes.
Yeah. Can't go on with Suspicious Minds.
Right.
Suspicious Minds, is that your favorite?
Yes, it was.
Is it?
That and In the Ghetto.
In the Ghetto, good choice.
Yes.
Mark, are you an Elvis fan?
I like Elvis. It's not like one of my idols, but I do enjoy Elvis.
All right, I'll you're off the hook. All right.
Oh yeah. Hard Rock Hotel. There we go. I like that one.
Did you say Hard Rock Hotel? All right.
Yeah.
That's. I'm
Yeah.
alone.
That was a song, wasn't it? Yeah.
I think that was one of his movies.
Well, it's actually called Heartbreak Hotel.
Oh, that one. There you go. See, that's much. of a
Hard Rock
Elvis fan
Hotel
than
was
I am.
actually an establishment.
Hard Rock Hotel is the only.
That's the one we have here.
That's-
Hard Rock.
yeah.
Yeah. Never mind. See, I'm Elvis. He
Fail.
was good, but I was not a major. No. I'm more like Cat Stevens. I don't know. Next.
Next.
All right.
So, Chris, what would you like to see change in our community?
Other than everybody getting along, I think I'd like to see our community stand up for each other more. And I think it's a wonderful thing to be an ally to the LGBT community in general. But I think a lot of times we kind of just stand in the background and we wait for stuff to happen. I think it's important that, while I know that not everybody's, out waving a flag about it, I would like to see, our community involve ourselves in our community more, locally. I hate the fact that we have to take part or even put on Trans Day of Remembrance because it's horrible. I hate that we even have to do it, but it is important that we acknowledge what is happening. And when I do attend these things yearly, I have for the past several years, I'm often disappointed that more people from our community, don't participate and don't show up and don't support each other. I think, if there's a community event going on, a trans event or something to support our community, I would like to see more people going out to support that. And, I've been a part of some LGBT events where, pride events where if they do decide to include the T community, we're kind of told to go in a corner and behave ourselves, and nobody says anything about it. I'm surprised that our community doesn't, rise up and stand up for ourselves. And like I said, I know not everybody's a flower. We don't wear stickers on our foreheads, and I understand that. And some people just want to kind of live, and I'm about that too. But we've got a ways to go, and I like to see us support each other a little bit more than we're doing.
And that will take place, I think, when we unite more as a group, because the problem I see, and I've been transgender or transitioned since 2003, and I've seen the pendulum go back and forth and stuff like that, but they're groups that just don't get along, and you know, there's the elitists that say, well, you're not trans enough if you don't do this, and if you don't have the phalloplasty, and you've got the MTFs that argue with each other because one didn't have this and the other, instead of dividing one another by fighting and creating nitpicking on stuff that really doesn't matter. We're all trans, and we're all trans enough. We should unite, and the more we are in numbers, the more our voices will be heard. And like you said, they don't support things. Like, we've had this TV and radio show now for over a year, and we have a great following, but I like to see more. I know there's a lot more trans individuals out there. You know, we create a format where they could call in and chat and voice their opinions and ask questions. And seriously, we're not seeing what we would love to see. And I know they're out there, and I know that this is a platform that no one has. You know,
exactly.
But it's pretty sad.
Yeah, and this isn't a contest. You know, transitioning isn't a contest. It's not about who has more and who did what and who established this or that. And unfortunately, you see it a lot. It is a contest to a lot of people, and that's a shame. We really should, you know, I would like to see more positive things. I would like to see everybody come together and pick each other up. And, you know, when we do have Day of Remembrance, you know, let's go out and support each other. It's really depressing when I go and there are maybe 15 people there, 20 people. You know, where is everybody? You know,
it's sad. It's really sad. And how can you bring on change if you're going to be stealth and hide and not want to participate and not be supportive?
Well, and then you have some in the community that are afraid to come out and, you know, participate. I think because of the fear based upon everything. So I think the more that we're visible, the more they see us being out there, being visible to the public, I think the more they're going to work on getting their courage up to come out as who they are and participate more in these things. Because, I mean, this is the thing. I think people have a fear of, like Mark was saying, I'm not trans enough. Well,
there's no such thing.
There's no such thing.
Trans enough.
We all start at one basic area. Most MTFs start out as a cross-dresser, and eventually it blossoms into a beautiful transition. But
even if you don't have a beautiful transition, you should just be allowed to express yourself and be. It's not a contest. You know, it's allowing yourself to be who you feel you are, and that's good enough. You know, I think that's one of the things we need to educate society on. That we don't have to fit this perfect little box of being from female to male, looking exactly like, you know, Marlon Brando or something, whatever. We all have our uniqueness, and we all should just express ourselves.
Exactly.
I understand being stealth. I understand that, and the fear of wanting to come forward and be supportive, but a local community event, a trans event, it's generally more or less a safe place, and you're in good company.
Exactly.
That's right.
So get out there and support each other. I would like to see more of that.
I hear you.
Exactly.
I hear you. So, as a transgender individual, we find it really hard sometimes to find that other half. What is it that you look for in a person, and are you a hopelessly romantic?
Yes. Somebody who will just laugh at my bad jokes. I mean, really, for me, honesty, loyalty. Loyalty is huge for me. It's a big deal. If there's any quality I look for in a person, it's somebody who will stick by me. I'm not perfect. You know, I have my quirks. But, you know, somebody who really values a partnership and believes in standing by each other, that's really important to me. And as I get older, you know, preferences change. Yeah, you want to be attracted to somebody, but at the same time, a person's set of morals and who they are and how they treat you is obviously so much more important. and I'm learning that a lot as I get older. So I am disgustingly a hopeless romantic, and I will admit it. I'm not ashamed. I dream of that fairy tale scenario, but that's not reality, and every relationship has its ups and downs. But the right things come at the right time. So I'm optimistic. But loyalty is my number one.
Definitely.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, here's another clip of one of your performances.
Great.
I've been traveling over mountains, even through the valleys too. I've been traveling night and day. I've been running all the way, baby, trying to get to you. Ever since I read your letter, when you said you loved me true, I've been driving night and day. I've been running all the way, baby, trying to get to you. Well, it's your loving letter, when my heart began to sing. Well, many miles between us, but it didn't mean a thing. Oh, I just had to meet you, baby. And you said you loved me true. I will try for night and day. I'm running all the way. We both screwed up.
Here we go. Only things that
I've been traveling over mountains, even through the valleys too. I've been traveling night and day. I've been running all the way, baby, trying to get to you. Ever since I read your letter, when you said you loved me true, I've been traveling night. Let's walk it back.
Yeah. I cut off short, huh?
I've been traveling night and day. I've been running all the way, baby, trying to get to you. When I read your loving letter, then my heart began to sing. There were many miles between us, but they didn't mean a thing. I just had to meet you, baby. Spite of all that I've been through, I kept traveling night and day. I've been running all the way, baby, trying to get to you. Ever since I read your letter, where you said you loved me true, I've been traveling night and day. I've been running all the way, baby, trying to get to you. Baby, in spite of all I've been through, I kept traveling night and day. I've been running all the way, baby, trying to get to you. You got it?
Yeah.
I've been traveling over mountains, even through the valleys too.
Too long?
Yeah, too long. It's alright, I was off. When the world's dark as night, it shines bright as light when I'm trying to get to you. Better. Yeah. Wanna try once more?
Yeah.
I've been traveling over mountains, been traveling night and day. I've been running all the way, baby, trying to get to you. Well, every night it told me that you really love me true. Lord knows how much I love you. Love brought me through. When my way was darkest night, His shine is bright as night, and I was trying to get to you.
Fail.
Yeah. Stuff happens, you know.
Well, it's okay. You're not the only one that forgets the lyrics to your own songs.
Well, I have 115 songs that I've
No,
written.
no.
Thank you very much. Sometimes I can't remember them all. That's why I have them in my computer and stored away, and that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I often think I need ginkgo biloba.
Yeah, that I used to take that at one point. I should probably go back on it. I'm turning 50,
But
soon. And say it again.
What's interesting is if you have to remember to take ginkgo biloba, do you really need it?
Yeah, you do. You need a double dose. The high mega dose to really. Yeah, it's rough. I just think that we put so much on our plates. I think that a lot of the foods that we're eating is not really nourishing our dendrites, and our synapses aren't taking place, and that's why Alzheimer's is running rapid, and it's just the lifestyle that we have. We don't sleep. We're constantly in front of a computer. It's crazy. But that's how it goes.
Yep.
Well, let me ask you, Chris, what is your favorite pastime and why?
This may be cliche, but I grew up playing softball and baseball. I played for 12, and I miss it. I miss it a lot. I am definitely a baseball fan. I love going to the ballpark. Once in a while, I'll go to my childhood ball fields, and I'll just go hang out, and just the smell of the air is very nostalgic, and it's when I look back on my childhood, it was a really good time, and I really miss it. So at some point, maybe I'll join an adult league or something when I have the time. Hopefully, it'll be a lot like riding a bike, and I won't suck, but I miss it a lot, and it really makes me happy just to go out and throw a ball, go to a batting cage, let off some steam. I miss it a lot.
Life's too short, so you should do what you enjoy. I mean, it's definitely while you still can and you're young enough to do it. Because as you get older, all the joints start to hurt, things don't function the way they used to, and not a pretty picture.
Yes.
I'm an old trans guy here.
Then you're stuck taking ginkgo biloba.
Ginkgo biloba, all sorts of stuff, let me tell you. But
I forgot to do something today.
the prunes.
I forgot to take my ginkgo
biloba.
You remember to take it, but you don't remember what you have to do in 5 minutes. I know.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Hey, what do we have for breakfast?
Oh, I forgot already.
Oh, well.
Who cares? Anyway. So, Chris, are you touring at the moment? And if so, where can our viewers catch you, watch you, listen to you?
Right now my big focus is building my business, Orange County Ghosts and Legends, where we're watching it grow, and I'm investing a lot of time in it, and it takes up a lot of my time. Right now I am looking into doing some more singles, some more tracks. I've got some Christmas gigs coming up, which is my favorite holiday, so I can never pass up a Christmas performance. Some private events, and a local community trans event for Christmas that I like to participate in every year. So I do some gigs once in a while, but I'm going to work on some new music. I'm always writing, and I'm going to be staying busy with the business. So if you're in Orange County, if you're in Arizona, anybody, look us up, and that's what I'm going to be doing.
Sounds like fun, definitely. Ghost busting. Actually, you could probably sing to the ghost. There you go. When you're there, maybe they'll all just gather around.
I haven't tried that concept yet, but I might
there you
work.
go. New concept.
I
like the music, I know.
I would definitely love to be a guest hunter. That would be awesome.
Definitely.
You may be surprised what kind of skills you may have.
Yeah.
Huh.
Maybe
Never
you're
thought of that.
sensitive, or since you had your socks come off all the time and your sheets on the floor. You might just be a kicker, but
yeah. And I can attest to that because she'll wake up in the morning. It's like, where'd my covers go? And
Shut up.
that was black eyes or
yeah. That was my imaginary friend.
That's why I'm always sore in the morning. It's like, God, Here I'm thinking I'm astral projecting and going fighting spirits in other planes. I get up in the morning. It's her beating up on me while we sleep.
Yeah, those scratches on your back this morning.
Yeah, I told her I might have.
No, you're blaming it on the ghost when really you're just beating the crap out of him.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I must have saw a ghost in my dream or something.
Yeah.
That's they say the ghost can tap in there while you're sleeping. So
oh, definitely. Yeah. I'm a big believer in astral projection. I've actually woken up and almost still been in that other plane because I believe when we sleep, it's not just a dream state. I believe there's different levels and different, we travel when we sleep. And a lot of times when I wake up, I'm still seeing in front of me so I've been
what I'm actually noticing is that I'm more in tune with things when I'm sleeping because that's when I wake up to things the most, and that's when I experience the most. Something is possibly interacting with me and I am somehow attentive to it, and I wake up and I experience a lot of things. So I don't know, it's interesting.
I'm definitely a believer. Like I said, there's different dimensions. This is just like a little speck of sand, We haven't even a clue. We haven't even tapped into the surface of it.
Not even.
Not even. Well, Chris, we definitely want to thank you for being part of the show.
Yes. And, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me. You guys are great. Thank you.
Thanks.
You so
You're
much.
awesome, Chris.
We honor you, Chris, and good luck with all you do.
Thank you.
And if you want to stick around for the post show.
Yes, we're going to do a little trans news and show the transition video of the week if you're not, because I know we've taken a lot of your time already. But we thank you and good luck with everything.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thanks.
Take care.
All righty. Well, in the trans news, we got MedPage Today, transgender healthcare still lags by David Pittman. Despite advances in civil rights in the gay and lesbian community, transgender patients still face discrimination, disparities in the health system. An expert on gay health said here, transgender people routinely avoid using healthcare resources because of the way physicians may have treated them in the past or because of fear of being treated differently. This was said by Joe Freund, an MD, a family physician in Des Moines, Iowa, who cares for a large base of gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender patients.
I've got transgender patients who refuse to go to the emergency room unless they're basically unconscious because of doctors screaming out of the room when they discovered something they didn't think they were going to find. Freund said, at the American Academy of Family Physicians Scientific Assembly, people are poorly treated at times. Transgender patients often have difficulty finding physicians who are accepting of their condition, willing to treat them, and knowledgeable about the nuances that come with their care. That come with their care. Some practices really don't know very many GLBT folk, Freund said.
What that may create is discomfort that is felt immediately by the patient. Transgender people are more likely to lack insurance coverage or have inadequate insurance. They also are routinely denied coverage because their gender identity and resulting treatments are deemed pre-existing conditions. Hopefully, this will be addressed, both access, issue, and exclusion, when the Affordable Care Act comes on board, Freund said.
Jennifer Burnett, MD, a family practitioner in Selma, California, said that between 1 in 500 and 1 in 1,000 individuals in the U.S. are transgender. But it's hard to find a more exact number because so many refuse to seek routine health care or simply can't find it. Healthcare disparities in the transgender population is particularly prevalent in the mental health field, with up to a third of suicide attempts by teens reported as a related as related to sexual orientation or gender identity.
And this is definitely a big issue. I mean, I know that I've been the subject of going into a doctor's office when I lived in Silver City, New Mexico. They'd never really seen a transgender man, and I went in there and I explained to them originally, and the guy treated me like I was a science project. Do you mind if I look at he was from India, do you mind if I look at your, and I'm like, okay, we'll do a show and tell here, and then you can prescribe my hormones, right? But it's crazy, and there needs to be more education, and transgender people need to feel safe to go into these medical professionals without being ridiculed, without being judged, because their religious belief does not allow them to think we're an abomination or some crazy thing like that. But we need to be safe because we're on hormones, and hormones create a lot of issues, and we need to constantly get checkups and keep ourselves healthy. That's very, very important.
Exactly.
Well, now, a little prologue before the transition video of the week. I write these little poetic things that I really enjoy writing, so here we go. Listen to me speak. I may not sound as I should, but wait a few more weeks. I will hear the sounds that come from inside my heart. I will be heard from my inner voice.
I will see the hair slowly coming in. My face and arms will surely dominate the maleness that I feel within. The mirror soon will make much sense. I will be that man I have dreamt of then.
You won't have to get your pronouns mixed up, for you will surely know that I am a man. And here is the transition video of the week with Ermo Lewer.
Yes.
I hope I
You should have read the whole thing.
I know, I just try to give you little bits of it so you can share with my little poetic adventure.
Yes.
Basically, so I can compare my voice when it was training.
So I decided to make a quick video for you to make this one a little bit more personal and direct. So I have to say though that I'm pretty awful at this. I'm going to try making this as short as possible. Making another video because apparently people prefer watching me talk to electronic device reading my text post, so that's alright. Today is my half a year on being alive.
As of today, I've been on testosterone for a year and a month.
May the 12th, and this is my voice, 21 days or 3 weeks on tape.
Today is April 28th, 2012, and this is my voice, 1 year, 1 week on testosterone.
Amazing transformation. Very good-looking young man, and beautiful transformation.
Absolutely.
Okay, remember to send us your transition video to transitionradioshow@gmail.com. Again, that's transitionradioshow@gmail.com.
And in the subject line, put transition video.
Yes, yes. And I'm looking forward to receiving more and more of your transformation video. It's an amazing thing. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us yet again. And let's see, do I have... Let me bring this down so let's see what we have for our calendar. Or do I have... Google Calendar. It's like multitasking is a difficult thing to do. Okay, we are going to have Rocky. This is going to be an amazing show next week. He is a young FTM. He's 14 years old, right?
14 or 15.
15 years old.
15.
And courageous young man. You're going to love him. And his mom will be by his side to answering some of the questions and stuff. So that's going to be a very exciting show. So stay tuned next week at 8 p.m.
Yes.
And although we got to start a little later today, but hopefully everything will be working a-okay by next week. Thank you, chatters, for joining us in the chat room, even though you were kind of quiet, but I know many of you just go in and listen and just kind of enjoy the show.
Absolutely.
We appreciate that. We appreciate
Thank you for joining us, Chris.
Yes, thank you so much, Chris. Thank you, Joe, for all you do. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in.
And we love you. But
remember to always love yourselves, too. That is so important. Good night, folks. Mwah.